Have you ever answered a simple question and then realized you have been explaining yourself for 5 minutes? You explain why you made that decision, then you add more context, then you explain what you meant, and somehow you ended up saying much more than you originally intended. If you have ever done this, you are not alone. But here is the interesting part. Over-explaining isn't always about communication. Sometimes it's about what we are feeling underneath. Welcome back to Turn On the Light Within You. So, why do we over-explain? Let's start with a simple question. Why do we feel the need to explain ourselves so much? Sometimes we simply want to be understood. We don't want the other person to misunderstand our intention, so we keep adding information. And that's completely normal. But sometimes something deeper is happening. We may be afraid of being judged. We may be afraid of disappointing someone. We may be looking for approval, or maybe we simply don't feel confident enough in our own decision to allow it to stand on its own. And that's when explaining can slowly turn into over-explaining. The reason number one is you want to be understood. Let's say someone asks you, why did you make this decision? You answer, but then you think, maybe they didn't understand what I meant. So you explain a little more. Then, maybe they think I made the wrong decision. So you add another explanation. And before you know it, you have given a complete presentation about something that only needed 1 or 2 sentences. The problem isn't that you explained. The problem is that you didn't trust that your explanation was enough. Reason number 2, you are afraid of being judged. This one can be even more subtle. Maybe you say no to something instead of simply saying, I am not available for that. You start explaining, I would normally do it, but I am really busy this week and I already have this other thing and I hope you don't think. Sound familiar? Sometimes we are not actually communicating anymore. We are trying to manage the other person's reaction. And that's exhausting because you can't control how someone interprets your decision. You can communicate clearly. You can be respectful, but you cannot control what someone else thinks about you. Reason number 3, you are looking for approval. And this is perhaps the most important one. Sometimes we over-explain because we are unconsciously asking, is it okay that I made this decision, this choice? Instead of simply owning our decision. And this is where confidence comes in. Confidence doesn't mean you never explain yourself. It means you don't feel that you have to prove your right to make every decision. There is a difference. Now, let's move to the difference between explaining versus over-explaining. So, how do you know when you are crossing the line? Here is a simple distinction. Explain when context is useful. Stop when you have communicated clearly. That's it. You don't need to convince everyone. You don't need to eliminate every possible misunderstanding. And you don't need to make everyone agree with you. Sometimes a clear sentence is enough. And here is a simple tool. So, here is something I want you to practice. The next time you notice yourself giving a long explanation, pause. Ask yourself, am I explaining because this person needs more information or because I need them to approve my decision? That question can change the conversation. Because if they genuinely need information, give them the information. But if you are explaining because you are uncomfortable with their reaction, you may not need another explanation. You may simply need to trust yourself. And this matters in leadership. This is especially important when you step into leadership. Imagine a leader who gives a clear direction, then immediately starts saying, but maybe we could do it another way. I know this is a lot. I don't want you to think I am being too demanding. What happens? The message becomes less clear. Compare that with, this is the direction we are taking. Here is why. Let's move forward. Clear, respectful, confident. Leadership doesn't require you to have all the answers, but it does require you to be comfortable standing behind your decisions. One more thing, and I want to make something clear. Being concise doesn't mean being cold. You can be kind, you can be empathetic, you can listen, you can acknowledge someone else's perspective and still communicate clearly. You don't have to choose between being kind and being confident. You can be both. And now, let's move to Hope's challenge. And my challenge for you today is that I want you to pay attention to yourself. The next time you catch yourself explaining something, pause before adding another sentence. Ask yourself, have I already communicated what needs to be said? If the answer is yes, stop. Take a breath and allow your words to stand. You may feel uncomfortable at first. That's okay. You are not trying to become a different person overnight. You are simply practicing a new way of communicating. And remember, you don't need to over-explain yourself to deserve to be heard. So, the next time you catch yourself explaining, pause, ask yourself what's really driving it. Maybe the other person needs more information, or maybe you need to trust yourself a little more. Your words don't always need more words. Sometimes clarity is enough. If today's message turned on a little bit more light within you, please like and subscribe for more messages from Hope. One life, one chance. Live it fully and keep turning on the light within you.